Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori, and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. We love to cook, and we love to eat. We love to garden. We live a sustainable life. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So welcome back to Whippoorwill Holler Kitchen. And today we're going to be walking into the pantry and into the freezer and getting stuff out to make a cheap, frugal pantry meal. And y'all probably seen this meal 100 times being done, but this is one that always comes to mind for me when it's just an easy casserole that you can just throw together out of your pantry. I've got potatoes and onions and hamburger meat. It's my main ingredients, and a can of mushroom soup, cream mushroom. What we're going to start with our can of cream mushroom soup. Now I also have a recipe. If y'all haven't seen it, I've got a video for making your own cream of something or cream of anything soup, and I do have that recipe. But I walked over to my pantry and I found a couple of cans of cream of mushroom. So I got one can, and really and truly this is a recipe that I just kind of throw together. So as you watch me make this, and I've got about a half a cup of beef broth. As you watch me make this, just know that you can make this your own. You can put your own ingredients in it. And I'm just going to use the skillet that I browned my hamburger meat in. It was 1 pound of hamburger meat. Instead of getting another pan out, I'm just going to use this one. You see how thin I sliced my potatoes. You can use a 9 by 13 baking dish. And I'm just going to take all my potatoes, and it was about 5 russets, medium-sized russets. And I'm just going to kind of throw them in here, lay them around. It'll be okay if there's several layers. They don't have to be single layer of potatoes. And you always want to season your stuff. So now that I got my potatoes in there, you want to make sure that you always season each layer. So I'm going to finish putting my potatoes in here, and we're going to put salt and pepper. You can put some garlic powder. I'm going to be using minced garlic. You can cover it with some paprika. Just anything that you like that. Now, to your mushroom soup, you could have added a half a can of Rotel. If you had a can of Rotel in your pantry, that would have been another thing to put in it. And I'm going to put a good teaspoon of minced garlic on my potatoes. Like I said, you can use garlic powder. Now I've got 2 onions that I've sliced up. And that may seem like a lot of onions, but when you cook these onions, they cook down. And I love onions. And onions are very, very good for you. So we're just going to spread our onions out. I'm going to add a little bit more minced garlic. You can add a little bit more salt and pepper. Now I'm going to add my hamburger meat, and I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to sprinkle it around. Now, like I said, this is 1 pound. If you need to make this casserole go further, put you 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of meat, and add you a few more potatoes and onions. And this will feed a pretty good crowd. What I'm fixing here would feed 2 grown men. Sorry about that. 4 grown men, or 2 adults, and probably 3 children. So like I said, I'm going to put another teaspoon of minced garlic. That's optional, putting that much, but y'all know how much we love garlic. And I'm just going to take some Worcestershire sauce and sprinkle that over my meat and my onions. Now I've got my oven preheating at 325. The reason I got it on a low oven is because I want it to cook. It's going to cook from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Just depends on if your potatoes get tender enough within an hour of cooking. Now I'm going to take me some cheese before I put my cream of mushroom soup on top. I'm just going to spread that around. Now I'm going to put my soup on here. Now, it might look like that's just not very much, but believe me, it is. Now, if you double this recipe, of course you want to double your soup and your beef broth. But as it cooks down, you'll see that it's plenty of soup. So you just want to spread that around good, all over the top. And I may even sprinkle a little bit more cheese on top. But you can see how this comes together really fast. With just a few pantry ingredients. Nothing expensive. I think I'm going to take a little more cheese. And I may put a little bit more pepper on top. Now this right here is a meal in itself, but you can add another vegetable to it, a salad, and it's going to be pretty filling. So I'm going to cover it up real tight with aluminum foil, stick it in the oven, and I'll check it in about an hour. Okay, y'all, it's been an hour and about 15 minutes, and I probably could have took it out after an hour. I left it in there another 15 minutes, and the potatoes are good and tender. Everything cooked up good. You can see them potatoes and the cheese in there and the onions. It looks real good. And like I said, another vegetable or something with it, and maybe some homemade biscuits or bread, and then you've got a pretty good meal right here that didn't cost a lot to make. And it's one of them easy pantry meals. Some of that stuck to the bottom, but I like that crispy potatoes on the bottom, don't y'all? It looks real good. So y'all have to try this. Easy, good hamburger potato pantry recipe. And y'all stay tuned because I've got an extra recipe at the end of this video. So my next extra video is going to be grits for two in the Instant Pot. This is going to be easy. It's for two people. Be good for breakfast in the morning. That's what I'm doing. I've got my trivet in the bottom of my Instant Pot, and I'm putting a cup of water. And I've got my little ramekin here, and really and truly I need to find me something that's a little bit deeper than this, but this one has worked so far. And I'm going to put 1/4 of a cup of stone ground grits, not instant grits. You don't want to use instant grits. And I know a lot of people make their grits in the microwave. I don't care for it, but I can tell you I do like this method. And I've got 1/2 cup of water and 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And I know my bowl is getting full. I'm going to stir it up just a little bit. Now, I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of salt in here. But I'm going to warn you that if you're using salted butter, don't put the salt in, because it will be too salty. So put 1/2 teaspoon and then 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, don't put the 1/2 teaspoon of salt in. So my bowl is getting full, like I said, but it's going to work. And we're going to put it inside the Instant Pot on the trivet. And I can tell you this makes for some really creamy, good grits for 2 in the morning. So you're not having to make a big old bowl of grits. And I'm going to put my lid on here. You can tell I've been using my Instant Pot a lot here lately. I'm going to put it on seal. And I've got it on manual. And I'm going to bring it down to 15 minutes. Now, like I said, this is stone ground grits. It's a lot different than instant. Okay, I've let it do a natural release for 10 minutes, and then I took the seal off, and I'm going to open it up. They look good. Now, of course, a little bit did kind of come over the side, but that's okay. Overall, they stayed in my little bowl pretty good. They're creamy. I'm going to taste of them and make sure they're done. And the longer they sit here, the thicker and creamier they'll get. So while they're sitting here, I'll be cooking us up some sausage and frying us some eggs. But this is my favorite way anymore to cooking grits in the Instant Pot. Just enough for me and Danny in the morning. I'm going to blow on this and I'm going to taste of it. And they are good. But like I said, I'm just going to let them sit here a while. Let them finish up, thickening it up, and getting creamy. And here we are. This is our breakfast. It's like how I like my eggs, fried hard, and cheesy grits. Now, I forgot to tell y'all, you can put cheese on them grits. Just a handful. They're really good.